And what does the Platte River do for this community? Waterways are the original highways, essentially, of transporting people and goods all over the world. Waterways have been a historical way to get people moving and get goods moving as well. Currently, fun facts, most petroleum is transported by waterways. Also in this area, we have the Purina Ralston, Denver Surham, and the Western Paving Construction Company. So that created gravel. They made rocks and cement. So that's another industry. What happens though when you do smelting is that there's a lot of byproducts of that, a lot of chemical byproducts. There's lead that's really high, cadmium, and arsenic. All of these things are highly toxic to the human body. We also have raw sewage, trash, all of it's being thrown into the river. It's basically a trash can at this point.
The reason why I got into composting is because I saw the power that comes in not only taking food waste out of the landfill, but also applying compost to your soil. They've done studies that show urban gardening is actually more nutritionally dense than traditional agriculture because you're providing your fruits and your vegetables, the herbs that you're growing, with the nutrients that they need to grow very well.
We need to do city-owned housing that we're hoping to bring to Denver that would have climate benefits, sustainability benefits, and besides helping with housing affordability, it also would ideally be very nice housing to live in. So the name that we throw around for this is social housing. It's modeled on the city of Vienna in Austria, but if a government is going to build housing, it should be beautiful. It should be a place where anybody would want to live, and anybody in the city should be allowed to live there and pay no more than 1/3 of their income in rent.
All the buildings were gone. And we thought, we're gonna get a laundromat, a grocery store, a Dairy Queen. We had an empty piece of land for 20 years. For 20 years, this land sat empty, growing weeds, the weeds catching fire from the train. That was the only time we saw anybody come out from the city.
Is that triangle over there where they also, because of freeway expansion, knocked down many homes from the Victorian era, from families that have been there since the immigrant times of Eastern Europeans and Hispanics? They left that as a gravel parking lot like you see here, and they want so badly to make an entertainment center, so badly, and our neighbors do not want that, our Denverites do not want that. You have to stay vigilant.
Get on me. very polluted. The Platte River is one of the most polluted rivers in the country. We can't bless each other and bless ourselves with that water, yeah? And what can we do is a good question. But what we're going to do is pass this tobacco around. And this tobacco represents what we call Seetlaltikpak. Seetlaltikpak means first of the earth. The tobacco seed is believed by our ancestors and told to us by our ancestors to be the very first seed on this continent.
My auntie asked me to come and just talk about like some things that we could do to work with the water. And so I got here a little while ago and I just sat by the river and I asked the water to tell me what I should share with you all, right? Because we believe that it's the elements that teach us, you know, it's not the other way around. And those are our elders. They came before all of us, right? And the thing that the water asked me to share is that we shouldn't be afraid of the water. And a lot of times we are afraid because of the contamination. We are afraid because everything that has been polluted, right? We have so much fear. And I was like, I don't even want to touch this water, right? Like, I don't want to touch this. Like, Suncor has contaminated this. These industries have contaminated this. Like, I'm not going to touch this water. And the water was like, I am still a medicine for you. Like, I am still here for you to heal you. I am still here for you to sing with you, to walk with you. I share memories, and I will always be here no matter how they contaminate me, no matter how much it hurts. I am still going to be here to walk with you all. And so I just want to share that message because that's what the water shared, that there's still beauty in these waters, and it is our responsibility to protect them, to clean them up, and there's still so much life, like how Thea Deb said, like there was snakes, there's the ducks, right? Like the life is still here, and it's still our responsibility to take care of it.
This is never an easy topic to speak of, right? About what's going on in our communities, on our earth, our Mother Earth, on the planet, in the universe, etc. But there's some things that need to be said in terms of those ideas. So what we have on our altar are always the elements, and that salmero that she's carrying represents the 4 elements, yeah? Because it takes the earth and the water to make the clay, and then it takes the air to light the fire, and then we harden that clay in the fire. So the elements there are present.
Voters of Denver understand that development needs to work for the community, be informed by the community, and truly benefit the community, not the top down from government offices. This is failing us over and over and over again. Have you seen the state of our world? It is failing us. Number 2, Denver knows that Denver no longer works for Denverites. Instead, it becomes a place for tourists, developers, and a small group of wealthy individuals. How many people agree with that statement?
Yes.
Number 3, leaders of the city and government have their own interests separate from the interests of the people. It's our job to push and advocate for the people, our communities, our children, and our future.
One of our biggest sections is on health outcomes, where we looked at different health outcomes in these neighborhoods using data that already exists. I think one of the most striking things we found is that residents in these neighborhoods have a 20% higher rate of mortality, so of death, than residents in Denver overall.
As we think about the $1 billion the stock show got, the over 1.2 the highway got, and the community they were in. I don't know if you noticed anything when we were walking on the trail. $1 billion and 1.2 billion, and we have people sleeping on the trail. We have trash everywhere. We have needles. Would you come
It's for the developer projects that are coming in and coming down North River. There is nothing else here. This makes no sense.
Because it doesn't do us any good to talk about it all if we don't know how to try and heal some of these things. And there are ways, and so we're going to try to do that. But we need to heal ourselves too.
One fundamental part of our program is we give you air pollution information. So Harmony talked about solutions. We know this long legacy of pollution here. It's definitely a lot of air pollution and legacy there. So what our program is doing is trying to make that data that we have more transparent.
The Suncor and all these industries are so polluting it, like we're just working backwards, right? We're like literally working against Suncor, right? Like against the birds.
We are a part of the ecosystem. We are not separate from the earth and the air and the water and the fire. We are of the ecosystem. We cannot survive without the ecosystem, and the ecosystem as well depends on us.
This kind of action is exactly what the city needs more of. We need you to be a voice to city council members.
It's an entire community getting together. What we want to focus on here is harking back to those stories of collective action. Nothing happens when one person calls Purina, when one person complains about something not being done right. It never is going to work out that way. You have to stay active. You have to stay collective.
Coming out to Globeville. This is my neighborhood. GES is my community. We are, I always say it, we're strong, we're determined, we're resilient, but we're beautiful. So thank you for coming out and seeing our beauty. Some people only see our negativity. We have beauty in this neighborhood. We have so much beauty. So thank you all for coming out. Please come back. Come back to Port Green, come back to the bakery, come back to Prodigy. Go to our restaurants in Elyria, Swansea.